Navigating Modern Masculinity, Archetypes and Shadows. What does it mean to be a man in today's world? This question discusses modern masculinity, a concept that has evolved significantly over time. Robert L. Moore's seminal work offers a profound foundation for understanding this evolution, presenting masculinity through the lens of archetypal psychology. Moore posits that mature masculinity is not a static trait, but a dynamic interplay of various archetypes. In modern terms, being masculine transcends traditional stereotypes, encompassing a balanced embodiment of strength, empathy, resilience, and emotional intelligence. This nuanced definition encourages a re-evaluation of what it means to be a man in contemporary society, challenging us to move beyond outdated models towards a more holistic understanding of masculinity. In recent times, societal shifts have precipitated a crisis in masculine identity, marked by the erosion of traditional rites of passage that once signified the transition into manhood. This absence has left many men grappling with confusion and receiving mixed messages about their roles, further exacerbated by the evolving landscape of gender norms and expectations. The lack of clear markers for what constitutes becoming a man in the modern era has led to a widespread identity crisis among men, searching for meaning and direction in an ever-changing world. The crisis in masculinity, fueled by societal shifts and the erosion of traditional rites of passage, has created a vacuum that false gurus exploit, offering superficial solutions to deep-rooted identity questions. These figures capitalize on confusion, selling appealing but ultimately shallow notions of manhood that can lead to more harm than growth. It's essential to navigate this landscape with caution, seeking genuine personal development that fosters a well-rounded and mature masculine identity, rather than falling for the allure of quick fixes. Moore's concept highlights that true masculinity is achieved through a form of initiation, a vital rite of passage largely absent in modern society. This initiation can be metaphorically reclaimed through personal development, engaging in mentorship, and actively participating in community life, fostering a deeper understanding of oneself and one's role in society. Initiation for modern masculinity can involve personal challenges that foster growth, self-reliance, and introspection. Examples include undertaking a physically demanding activity like a marathon, engaging in silent retreats to deepen self-awareness, or committing to learning a new skill or craft that requires discipline and persistence. These solo journeys act as metaphors for the transition into mature masculinity, emphasizing personal responsibility, resilience, and the development of one's inner life. In boy psychology, we encounter a developmental stage characterized by the emergence of polarities, such as the hero and the shadow. The hero represents the youthful ambition and drive for achievement, often accompanied by a naive sense of invulnerability. In contrast, the shadow harbors the undeveloped, often negative impulses, fear, selfishness, and aggression. This stage, while a natural part of psychological development, can manifest in immature behavior when these polarities are not integrated, leading to a skewed understanding of masculinity that prioritizes ego over empathy and domination over collaboration. Archetypes represent universal patterns of behavior, and each has a shadow side that can emerge when these patterns are expressed in unhealthy ways. The shadow effects include negative traits or behaviors that contrast with the positive aspects of each archetype. For instance, the shadow of the hero might manifest as aggression or selfishness, while the shadow of the divine child could appear as irresponsibility or a refusal to grow up. Understanding these shadows is crucial for personal development and achieving a balanced expression of each archetype. Each archetype and its shadows provide a nuanced view of the journey toward mature masculinity, highlighting the need for balance and self-awareness in personal development. Let's dive into the complexities of boy psychology through its archetypes and their shadows, shaping our understanding of masculinity's formative stages. The divine child, innocence and potential. The divine child represents our purest form of being, brimming with potential and untouched by the harshness of the world. Yet, this innocence casts long shadows, the high chair. Tyranny emerges when this child, in its demand for constant attention and service, becomes a tyrant of entitlement. On the flip side, the weakling prince is overwhelmed by life's demands, paralyzed by a lack of confidence and inability to act. Both shadows remind us of the need for balance between our innate potential and the realities of life. For the divine child archetype, imagine a young musical prodigy who captures the world's attention with their innate talent. Much like Mozart, this prodigy embodies the pure potential and unspoiled genius of the divine child. However, if this talent leads to a sense of entitlement and expectation for constant adulation, the shadow of the high-chair tyrant emerges, reminiscent of historical figures who, despite their genius, struggled with humility and interpersonal relationships. Conversely, the weakling prince shadow might be seen in a figure like Charles VI of France, known as Charles the Mad, whose inability to cope with the pressures of leadership and vulnerability to mental illness illustrates the shadow's overwhelmed and incapacitated nature. The Oedipal child, attachment and rivalry. The Oedipal child navigates complex emotional terrains of attachment and competition, particularly within the family. In its shadow, the mama's boy clings too closely to comfort, unable to venture forth boldly. Conversely, the dreamer retreats into fantasy, escaping the challenges of reality. Both forms struggle with autonomy and the task of forging an independent identity. For the Oedipal child, the shadow forms include the mama's boy, who remains overly attached and dependent on maternal figures, unable to make decisions without seeking approval, reminiscent of historical figures like Emperor Nero, known for his excessive dependence on his mother. Conversely, the dreamer retreats into fantasy to escape the challenges of reality, akin to the historical figure of Louis XVI of France, whose preoccupation with his hobbies and personal interests contributed to his detachment from the pressing issues of his reign. This retreat into a world of imagination serves as a coping mechanism for avoiding the responsibilities and difficulties of adulthood, ultimately leading to a disconnect from reality and the potential for catastrophic consequences. The precocious child, wisdom beyond years. The precocious child, wise beyond its years, offers insights and solutions that belie its age. However, the shadow of the know-it-all looms large, where this wisdom turns into arrogance and alienation. The dumb genius, on the other hand, has immense potential, but is stifled by fear and inaction, unable to apply their knowledge practically. In the case of the precocious child, the shadows manifest as the know-it-all, filled with arrogance, refusing to acknowledge the wisdom of others, similar to the tale of young Alexander the Great, who boldly declared he knew better than his tutors. The dummy plays ignorant, fearing the vulnerability that comes with genuine curiosity, reflecting characters like the fool in Shakespeare's plays, who use feigned ignorance as a defense. The hero. Adventure and bravery. The hero is characterized by bravery and a quest for adventure, embodying the drive to prove oneself. The shadow of the bully reveals a hero turned aggressive, using strength to dominate rather than protect. The coward, the hero's other shadow, is paralyzed by fear, shrinking back from the very challenges the hero seeks to overcome. The hero archetype's shadows are the bully, who compensates for insecurity through aggression and domination, mirroring historical conquerors like Genghis Khan, who ruled through fear and brute force. Conversely, the coward shadow, paralyzed by fear of failure, avoids taking any risks, reminiscent of the biblical figure Jonah, who fled from his destiny only to face greater trials. Transitioning to man psychology. Transitioning into man psychology marks a pivotal phase in masculine development, moving beyond the youthful stages of boy psychology. This mature state is guided by the archetypes of the king, warrior, magician, and lover. Each archetype offers a unique framework for understanding the facets of mature masculinity: the king's leadership, the warrior's courage, the magician's wisdom, and the lover's capacity for connection. Together, they form a comprehensive model for a balanced and fulfilled masculine identity. As we journey from boy psychology, marked by its formative challenges and archetypal polarities, we enter the realm of man psychology. This stage represents the culmination of masculine development, where the archetypes of the king, warrior, magician, and lover come into full expression. These archetypes serve as pillars for mature masculinity, each contributing essential qualities: the king's benevolence and authority, the warrior's strength and discipline, the magician's insight and transformational power, and the lover's passion and empathy. Embracing these archetypes in balance fosters a holistic masculine identity, grounded in wisdom, courage, and compassion. The pinnacle of masculine development lies in man psychology, guided by archetypes like the king, warrior, magician, and lover. Each archetype offers a unique framework for understanding mature masculinity, contributing essential qualities to a holistic masculine identity. By exploring these archetypes and their shadows, we gain deeper insights into the complexities of modern masculinity. Join us as we journey through the intricacies of each archetype and uncover the keys to a balanced and fulfilling masculine identity. In wrapping up, we've traversed the landscape of masculinity, from the nascent stages of boy psychology to the mature realms of man psychology. We've delved into the archetypes that sculpt the masculine psyche, each holding a mirror to our potential and pitfalls. As we conclude, I invite you to reflect on your journey through these archetypes. Which aspects resonate with you? Where do you see room for growth? In our next video, we'll dive deeper into the archetypes of man psychology: the king, warrior, magician, and lover. We'll explore how each archetype influences mature masculinity and how integrating these aspects can lead to a more balanced and fulfilling life.